Humanity had always been known for its relentless drive to innovate, and this trait became even more pronounced as they expanded into the stars. With access to new resources and the constant threat of extraterrestrial dangers, humanity invested heavily in advancing their military technology. Their warships, once modest compared to the fleets of older galactic civilizations, quickly evolved into some of the most formidable vessels ever seen. They integrated AI systems that could process information at speeds far beyond any organic mind, allowing these ships to react instantly to threats and adapt to new tactics in real time. The ships were equipped with adaptive shielding that could recalibrate based on the type of energy or projectile being used against them, making them nearly impervious to damage. Weapons systems were enhanced with unprecedented precision and destructive capability, designed to obliterate enemy fleets in seconds. These advancements positioned humanity as a rising power, capable of defending itself against any galactic threat. The first true demonstration of humanity's newfound power came during a skirmish with a notorious pirate fleet that had been terrorizing trade routes for decades. The Galactic Council, which had long struggled to contain these pirates, was shocked when a small contingent of human warships obliterated the entire pirate armada in a matter of minutes. The sheer efficiency and lethality of the human fleet sent shockwaves through the galaxy. News of the battle spread quickly, and other civilizations took notice. What they saw was not just a victory, but a display of force that far surpassed anything they had witnessed before. The human warships operated with a level of coordination and precision that seemed almost inhuman, because it was. The AI systems on these ships worked in perfect harmony, executing complex maneuvers that no organic pilot could replicate. The galaxy, once accustomed to balanced and restrained combat, was now faced with a new kind of warfare, one where destruction was swift and absolute. The Galactic Council, composed of representatives from the most powerful civilizations, quickly recognized the potential threat posed by these new human warships. While they admired humanity's technological prowess, they were also deeply concerned about the implications of such power. The Council had long established rules of engagement designed to minimize destruction and preserve the stability of the galaxy. Human warships, however, seemed to disregard these principles entirely. Their overwhelming firepower and AI-driven tactics were seen as a direct challenge to the established order, potentially leading to an arms race that could destabilize the entire galaxy. The ethical dilemmas were also stark. Could such power be controlled? What would happen if these warships were used indiscriminately? The Council feared that if humanity continued to develop and deploy these ships, it could lead to conflicts on an unprecedented scale, with catastrophic consequences for all. In response to these concerns, the Galactic Council took the unprecedented step of banning human warships from participating in galactic combat. This decision was not made lightly, as it involved intense political maneuvering and negotiations. Many in the Council argued that humanity's power needed to be curbed before it became a threat to the galaxy itself. Others feared that banning human warships would only push humanity to operate outside the bounds of galactic law, potentially leading to even greater conflict. In the end, the ban was imposed, with strict regulations enforced to ensure that human warships would not be used in any official military engagements. This decision, however, did not sit well with humanity, who saw it as an infringement on their sovereignty and a dismissal of their right to defend themselves. The stage was set for a future confrontation, as the galaxy tried to balance the need for security with the looming threat of unchecked human power. From the fringes of the galaxy emerged a rogue faction, known as the Varkari, a species that had long been dismissed as a minor threat. Driven by a fanatical belief in their own superiority, the Varkari sought to conquer and reshape the galaxy in their image. They had remained hidden for centuries, quietly amassing power and technology far beyond what the galaxy had expected. Their motives were clear: total domination and the eradication of any species that refused to submit to their rule. The Varkari's military force was unlike anything the galaxy had encountered: highly advanced, ruthlessly efficient, and utterly merciless. Their fleets moved with precision, leaving no survivors and decimating any planet that resisted. The scale of the threat they posed was immense, as they aimed to subjugate or destroy every major civilization in the galaxy. The initial invasion struck with terrifying speed. The Varkari targeted the outer star systems first, obliterating entire planets before the Galactic Council could mount a defense. Their ships, equipped with weapons of unparalleled destructive power, tore through defenses as if they were nothing. The Council's forces, despite their best efforts, found themselves hopelessly outmatched. Traditional tactics and strategies that had worked for centuries proved ineffective against the Varkari's advanced technology and brutal tactics. The invaders showed no mercy, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. As the Varkari pushed further into the galaxy, fear spread among the remaining civilizations. Panic took hold as entire systems fell within days, with refugees fleeing toward the core worlds in a desperate bid for survival. The galaxy, once thought to be secure under the protection of the Council, was now on the brink of collapse. As the Varkari invasion continued unabated, the Galactic Council's desperation grew. They had exhausted every option, deploying their most powerful fleets and enlisting the aid of allied civilizations, but nothing could stop the Varkari's relentless advance. The Council, once confident in their ability to maintain peace and order, was now faced with the very real possibility of total annihilation. Internal debates raged as the Council members struggled to find a solution. Some argued for surrender, believing it was the only way to save what remained of the galaxy. Others called for more extreme measures, including the use of banned technologies and weapons. But with each passing day, the situation grew more dire. The Varkari were closing in on the core worlds, and it was only a matter of time before they reached the heart of galactic civilization. In their desperation, the Council realized that there was only one option left, one they had hoped to avoid. Reluctantly, the Galactic Council made the decision to lift the ban on human warships. They knew that humanity's fleet, with its unmatched firepower and advanced AI, was the only force capable of standing up to the Varkari. It was a decision born out of necessity, not trust. The Council feared the consequences of unleashing humanity's warships, but they had no other choice. Without them, the galaxy was doomed. Messages were sent to Earth, urgently requesting their intervention. Humanity, once shunned and restricted, was now being called upon to save the galaxy. The Council's hope rested on the very fleet they had once feared, hoping that humanity could turn the tide and stop the Varkari before it was too late. The stakes were clear. The survival of the galaxy depended on whether humanity could harness its lethal power to defeat the greatest threat it had ever faced. Humanity's response to the Galactic Council's plea was swift and decisive. The order was given to reactivate the fleet that had been mothballed under the ban. Engineers and technicians worked around the clock, bringing the warships back online. These vessels, once considered too dangerous for use, were meticulously prepared for battle. Their systems were recalibrated, their weapons armed, and their AI networks brought to full operational status. The crews, highly trained and ready for combat, took their positions, fully aware of the significance of the mission ahead. This was no ordinary deployment. It was a do-or-die moment for the entire galaxy. The lethal fleet that had been hidden away was now humanity's spearhead in a battle for survival, and every effort was made to ensure that these warships were at their most lethal. The fleet's capabilities were unmatched by any other in the galaxy. Each warship was equipped with an array of advanced technologies that made them nearly invincible. The AI coordination allowed the fleet to operate as a single, cohesive unit, with each ship communicating and reacting to the others in real time. This synchronization meant that the fleet could adapt to changing battle conditions instantly, outmaneuvering and outthinking any enemy. The adaptive shielding, a marvel of human engineering, provided unparalleled protection, adjusting to counter whatever weaponry the enemy deployed. The weapons themselves were beyond anything the galaxy had seen: mass drivers capable of pulverizing planets, energy weapons that could slice through the toughest armor, and missile systems with pinpoint accuracy. These warships were the epitome of human ingenuity, designed not just to win battles, but to end wars. The first engagement between the human fleet and the Varkari invaders was nothing short of a slaughter. As the fleets met in the cold void of space, the Varkari, confident in their previous victories, were unprepared for the sheer power that humanity unleashed. The battle was over almost as soon as it began. Human warships, coordinated by their AI systems, executed complex maneuvers that left the Varkari fleet in disarray. The adaptive shields absorbed and nullified the Varkari's attacks, while human weapons tore through the enemy's ships with devastating precision. The invaders, who had once seemed unstoppable, were decimated in minutes. The human fleet moved with a lethal efficiency that left no room for counterattack. It was a display of overwhelming force, a demonstration of why these warships had been deemed too dangerous for conventional combat. For the first time, the Varkari met an enemy that could not only match them but utterly destroy them. The reactions across the galaxy were mixed. On one hand, there was awe. Civilizations that had witnessed the human fleet in action were stunned by the power and precision on display. They had never seen anything like it, and many began to wonder if humanity had become the most powerful force in the galaxy. But with that awe came fear. The same civilizations that admired humanity's strength also recognized the threat it posed. If these warships could so easily annihilate the Varkari, what could they do to others? The Galactic Council, though relieved by the victory, was also deeply concerned. They had unleashed a force they could no longer control, and the implications of this decision weighed heavily on them. The galaxy had been saved, but at what cost? As word of the battle spread, the realization began to sink in. The balance of power in the galaxy had shifted, and humanity was now at the center of it. The deployment of humanity's lethal fleet brought immediate victories, but it also unleashed a cascade of unintended consequences. The sheer power of these warships, while effective in defeating the Varkari, resulted in widespread collateral damage. Entire regions were destabilized as the aftermath of the battles left critical infrastructure in ruins and countless civilian casualties. The precision of human weaponry, though designed to minimize unnecessary destruction, could not fully prevent the devastation that followed such overwhelming force. Star systems that were once stable became lawless as the power vacuum left by the destroyed Varkari fleet was filled by opportunistic factions. The galaxy, though rid of the immediate threat, now faced a new era of uncertainty and chaos. The consequences of unleashing such formidable technology were far-reaching, and the galaxy was forced to reckon with the fact that the solution to one problem had created several new ones. Within humanity's leadership, a fierce debate emerged. The success of the fleet had proven their military dominance, but at what moral cost? Some leaders argued that the use of such overwhelming power was necessary to protect not just humanity, but the entire galaxy from existential threats like the Varkari. They believed that the ends justified the means, even if those means were destructive. However, others were deeply troubled by the implications. They questioned whether humanity had crossed the line, becoming a force of fear rather than protection. The moral implications of wielding such power weighed heavily on them, leading to a divide within the ranks. Could they continue to justify the use of these warships when the cost was so high? Or should they seek alternative methods of maintaining peace that didn't involve such overwhelming force? The debate was not just about strategy. It was about the very soul of humanity, and what kind of civilization they wanted to be in the galaxy. The Galactic Council, while grateful for the defeat of the Varkari, found themselves grappling with renewed concerns. The effectiveness of human warships had been undeniable, but the potential for abuse was terrifying. The Council feared that humanity's fleet, if left unchecked, could become a threat to the very peace they had fought to preserve. The balance of power had shifted dramatically, and the Council was now in the uncomfortable position of relying on a force they could not control. The long-term impact on galactic peace was uncertain, and there was growing anxiety about what would happen if humanity decided to use their fleet for purposes beyond defense. The Council had initially turned to humanity out of desperation, but now they questioned whether they had made a deal with a force that could destabilize the galaxy in the long run. Their concerns were not just about the immediate future, but about the precedent that had been set and what it meant for the future of interstellar relations. In the end, both humanity and the Galactic Council reached a grim consensus. The fight against the Varkari had to continue, and the human fleet, despite the risks, was the only force capable of ensuring victory. The decision to continue using the warships was seen as a necessary evil, one that both sides recognized was fraught with danger but deemed essential to stop the greater threat. The justification was clear: the galaxy's survival was at stake, and the power of humanity's fleet was the only thing standing between order and chaos. However, there was an unspoken understanding that this decision would have lasting repercussions. The use of such overwhelming force could not be taken lightly, and both humanity and the Council knew that the path they had chosen would shape the future of the galaxy for generations to come. The fight would continue, but the ethical dilemmas and the consequences of this decision would linger long after the final battle was won. The final confrontation between humanity's fleet and the Varkari occurred on the edge of the galaxy, where the rogue faction had amassed its remaining forces for a last stand. The human warships, fully operational and unrestrained, moved with lethal precision. As the battle commenced, the Varkari launched everything they had, but it quickly became evident that they were no match for the overwhelming firepower and advanced technology of the human fleet. The AI systems synchronized the movements of each warship, creating a seamless wall of destruction that cut through the Varkari defenses. Energy beams sliced through enemy vessels, adaptive shields absorbed every retaliatory strike, and the Varkari found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. The battle was brutal and swift, with the human fleet delivering a crushing blow that annihilated the Varkari forces. The threat was ended, and the galaxy was spared from further devastation. Yet, as the smoke cleared, the victory revealed its steep cost. The once thriving systems where the battles had taken place were now desolate. The collateral damage was immense, with entire planets rendered uninhabitable, their ecosystems destroyed beyond repair. The infrastructure that supported countless lives was reduced to rubble, and the civilian casualties were staggering. The human warships had done their job, but the sheer power they wielded had left scars on the galaxy that would take generations to heal. In the aftermath, the realization dawned on both humanity and the Galactic Council that the use of such force, while necessary, had come at a profound cost. The galaxy was safe from the Varkari, but the devastation left behind served as a stark reminder of the dangers inherent in wielding such overwhelming power. In the wake of the conflict, discussions about the future of the human fleet became a pressing issue. The Galactic Council, now fully aware of the implications of allowing such powerful warships to exist, debated the need for disarmament, or at least stricter regulations. Some argued that the fleet should be decommissioned, its weapons dismantled to prevent any future misuse. Others contended that, given the unpredictable nature of the galaxy, humanity's fleet was a necessary deterrent against any future threats. Humanity itself was divided, with leaders weighing the benefits of maintaining their military superiority against the ethical responsibility of not becoming the very thing they had fought against. The fate of the fleet hung in the balance, as both sides grappled with the difficult choices that lay ahead. The decision would shape the future of galactic relations and determine whether the lessons of the past would guide them to a more peaceful future. As the dust settled and the galaxy began to rebuild, the broader implications of the conflict became clear. The balance between power and responsibility had never been more critical. Humanity's place in the galaxy was now firmly established, but it came with the burden of ensuring that their power was used wisely. The story of the fleet, of its rise, its devastating effectiveness, and the moral dilemmas it created, served as a powerful reminder that even in victory, there are consequences. Moving forward, the galaxy would need to find a way to maintain peace without resorting to such extreme measures. Humanity had proven its strength, but the true test would be in how they chose to use it in the future. The balance between ensuring security and preserving life was delicate, and the events that had unfolded would guide the galaxy's path for years to come.